Yeah.
What professional product is your thriller film like?
We think it is like Silence of the Lambs, which is a thriller about an FBI agent who has to ask a serial killer for help catching another killer. This film is comparable to ours because of the way there is a stalker who follows someone looking to kill. Silence of the Lambs had a budget of $19 million. In the opening weekend, it grossed nearly $14 million. Overall, the film grossed $272,742,922 worldwide. It is produced by Ron Bosman, who has also worked in Changing Lanes, which is another thriller which Samuel L. Jackson stars in.
So, how would we consume your thriller?
The ways in which our thriller could consume the ways in which our audience could consume our film would be by watching it in the cinema, watching trailers on YouTube, advertisements on the television, picking up a DVD copy, or streaming it online from companies such as Love Film or Netflix.
What other ways would your thriller make money?
Other ways our thriller could make money would be using below-the-line advertising, like going on television to promote our film, flyers being handed out or posters on the back of buses or at bus stops, and the most important would be word of mouth. The way our film gains publicity is crucial to its fortunes. If a person watches our film and enjoys it, the idea would be to tell their friend to watch it, who then tells another person, and so on and so forth. Who would be the audience for your media product?
The audience we were trying to target is a mixed gender, aged between 16 and 27. Our typical audience member is either in higher education doing A-levels or a degree, or starting their career in a white-collar job. He or she is in a relationship but isn't married and enjoys going out socialising with friends. This includes going to the cinema, as they are part of the target age group for cinema goers and particularly enjoy the thriller and horror genres. They consume plenty of other media products, such as a Facebook or a Twitter account. As they enjoy films, they most likely have a Love Film or a Netflix account. They would have an iPhone or an iPad on which they will have apps for IMDb or Love Film and even Netflix as well. They would have a fair amount of disposable or spare cash, which allows them to spend money on products that would be used in everyday life, such as the iPhone.
How does the name of your film attract your audience?
The name attracts our audience because of the way a cat chases a mouse, which relates to the stalker element which is in our film.
How does the setting of your film address the audience and encode the thriller genre?
The setting of our thriller is an isolated woodland, which is conventional of a thriller. It connotes isolation of our characters and that there is nowhere to hide for the victim, as she is then all alone.
How do the costume and props show the audience that your film is of the thriller genre?
The costume and props show this is a typical thriller because of there is use of a disguise in the way the hoodie is used and the weapon, which is a bloody knife. How did you use camera work to attract your audience?
We used a variety of camera angles and shots to interest our target audience. Visually, we wanted our film to be very exciting. We used whip pans as well as cutting in between our shots quickly to give a sense of tension and panic.
So how did the effects, filters or colour correction address your audience?
We used very simple effects on our film as we wanted the camera to reflect our victim's isolation. We used simple transitions to cut between shots to add to the suspense of our thriller. We kept it simple as to not overcomplicate our film, which kept our audience from getting distracted.
How do the typeface and titles used in your thriller film reflect the genre of thrillers?
We used bold titles that we edited in After Effects to appear on the screen slightly blended together. This leans towards more of the horror genre as we took elements of this to panic our audience.
How do the enigma codes and narrative events used in your film attract your audience?
Our villain poses several enigma codes for our audience, as both our main characters are both female. This asks questions as to why our villain is pursuing the victim. This can be answered later in the film. Because our victim is young, this relates to the target audience who can empathise with her because they are roughly the same age.